Miss you guys.
So when is Hannah's due date?
1 month. She's a Poochie mama.
Wait, what month is this?
It's
Middle,
July, so August.
middle July, middle of August?
Middle August. August
She might be
16th.
late.
No, they do it on time now. And yeah, she will have it on that date. It's the weirdest. What is going on? Oh,
Whether she's ready or not. She'll be ready in
well, they have a crib now. Lord, around 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, and I'm like, they gotta have a crib. They gotta have a crib. You know, not even bassinet, just a crib. Or a bassinet.
That was a hard adjustment for me, taking me out of the bassinet. I slept in the guest room with the bassinet.
I was just gonna, didn't I just say, he asked me to do that a while ago?
It's a little hard for Mark too.
Mark's a little slow.
That's a good idea.
Your Benji's pretty good. Not here. I got the nails for a guy now. I call them my high holiday nails. I try and time them because they'll. But that's banjo-y. That's all you need, really. Yeah, I also do a pick. So I would use these three. Ooh.
Take a walk.
I want to take a mile and just lay down the couch.
That sounds good. Hey guys.
That's the West Virginia Shema. Oh, y'all heard that. Right. Oh, I got a microphone in front of me.
Well, what a great way to start. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat
Happy to
Shalom.
welcome you with a laugh and a good joke. Thank you, Mark. I would not have been a good person to be in charge of that. We are really glad that you are joining us here this beautiful summer evening. We're going to have a short Torah service as part of our welcoming of Shabbat, which we're excited to do. But first, we've got some prayers and some welcoming to do, so we hope you'll join us as we begin with Hine ma tovu manaim, shevet achim gam yachad, how good it is that all of us can dwell here together.
Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. 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 שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים. שבת אחים גם יחד, שבת אחים גם יחד.
We're going to light our Shabbat candles and welcome hope and warmth into our space. And I'm happy to invite Betty to light our candles for us.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahalik ner shel Shabbat.
Thank you, Betty. I want to wish all of you a Shabbat Shalom and a welcome back to TBS. We want to take an opportunity for you to get to know or say hi to the people around you. So if you know someone, better yet you don't know someone, please take a moment to say hi, wish each other Shabbat Shalom, introduce each other if you haven't yet done so we can all welcome each other as a community. So happy to hear everyone jumping into those hellos. That's so nice. We want to invite those conversations to happen, continue after Oneg, after services, but thank you for allowing us to welcome each other. We're now going to welcome the Sabbath bride and officially begin Shabbat together with Lechad Odi. If you have a prayer book on page 20 or here on our screens, please join us. We got Nate joining us on the piano. Fantastic.
Lecha lecha dodi, lipat likrat chala, b'nei b'nei shon kabbalah. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat chala, b'nei b'nei Shabbat mekabbalah la la. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat chala, b'nei b'nei Shabbat mekabbalah. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat chala, b'nei Shabbat mekabbalah. Shemor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Yishmianu echa meyuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shem u'feteret l'lita la 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 la. Hadodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat mekabbalah. Likrat Shabbat b'kuvanecha, ki mikor habarecha, v'rosh mikad ganesucha, sof ma'aseh
Please rise and face the entrance.
Erev Shabbat, Teret ba'ala, Kam b'simcha u'v'tzala, Togem anei am segula, Ba'ichala, ba'iyala. L'cha dodi, l'grat kala, b'nei b'nei shama l'kavela. L'cha dodi, l'grat kala, b'nei b'nei shama l'kavela. La 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 la. L'cha dodi, l'grat kala, b'nei b'nei shama l'kavela. L'cha dodi, l'grat kala.
We invite you, if you're able, to please remain standing, and we'll continue with Hatzi Kaddish.
Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabba.
Amen.
Yomad divrach chirutei v'yamlich machutei. B'chayechon v'yomechon u'chayei dekol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala, ba'agala, u'v'zman karib v'imeru.
Amen.
Yahei Shemei Rabba Mivora, Ve'olam u'amei amaya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach v'yishtabach, Yitpa'ar v'yitraman v'yinaseh, Yitadar v'yitaleh, Yitalal, Shebei dekudesha, Elam minkol, Birchata v'shirhata, Tushbechata v'nechemata, Ta'amiran bi'alma, Ve'imeru.
Amen.
And hide awake, and hide prepare. Are you listening to my prayer? When you hear my voice, you understand. And I awake, and I prepare. La 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 la, la la la
You may be seated. As we welcome Shabbat together, I invite you to join me in this reading, Teach Me. Teach me, O God, a blessing, a prayer on the mystery of a withered leaf, on ripened fruits so fair, on the freedom to see, to sense, to breathe, to know, to hope, to despair. Teach my lips a blessing, a hymn of praise, as each morning and night you renew your days. Lest my day be today as the one before, lest routine set my ways. We'll continue with that focus on appreciation of the earth and wonder with Ma'ariv Aravim, our prayer for the bringing on of evening. Please join me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, bechochma poteach she'arim, uvitvuna mishane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umisader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono. We'll continue in the English. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which the time and seasons glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. Amen. We'll continue with Shema Yisrael. If you would like to rise, you are welcome to do so.
Adonai.
We recall that when the Israelites sang Mi Chamocha, they were celebrating their gratitude that God freed them from slavery in Egypt. So we want to ask you what you are grateful for this evening. Why don't you take a moment and think about it, and you can share it with someone near you or someone next to you. And when you hear the music for Mi Chamocha, you'll know that'll be time to come back together with all those feelings of gratitude for whatever it may be. And we'll sing Mi Chamocha together. But for now, take a moment, share with someone next to you what you are grateful for, and then we'll all sing Mi Chamocha. Continue singing together with Hashki Venu that we have a Sukkot Shalom, a sukkah of peace that extends towards over all of us, our loved ones, and all in need of that sukkah, especially tonight.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storm. Adonai Eloheinu,
going to continue with the Amidah, with our standing prayers, beginning with Adonai Sifatai. We invite you again, if you're able. You already know it's coming, to please rise.
Kadosh v'shimcha kadosh u'kdoshim b'chol yom yachalu chasela Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
You may be seated, and we'll now take a few moments of silent prayer. If you have a prayer book, you can use pages 54 to 60, or whatever may be in your heart this evening. Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I'm excited for us to talk a little bit about this week's Torah portion. Let me get the right slide on here called Chukat. I'm actually going to come down here. Is this working? Ooh, it is. It is working. I'm going to hand these guys out. All right, so like I mentioned, we are in the Torah portion called Chukat, which is right at the end of the book of Numbers. So we are nearing the end of book of Numbers. Next up is Deuteronomy, when we are just about to enter the land. So we are coming up on the end of 40 years of wandering in the wilderness. We have almost made it. Last week in Korah, if you were here for that, there was a rebellion against Moses and Aaron. So people are testy, people are tired, and people are ready for this to end already. But the word Chukat means laws. So we're not going to talk about them tonight, but we're still getting laws even at the tail end of this journey. So the sheet that you just got, does everybody have one? Awesome. Thank you, David. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, anyone else I missed who helped pass those around. Appreciate it. We are going to briefly look at these texts and discuss them. Obviously, this is Torah, so we could spend a long, long time. We're going to try to not do that this evening. But you're welcome to read this on your own, think about it more, chat about it with folks around the weekend, and so on and so forth. So we begin here at Numbers 20. Oh, and that should say 1, sorry, verses 1 through 5 here. Would anyone like to read? Would anyone like to read these first 5 verses? In English. Connie, that's a really good thing to specify. Carol, did you have your hand up? Is that thank you. Do you mind using it just so folks on stream can hear you?
The Israelites arrived at the wilderness of Zin on the first new moon, and the people stayed at Kadesh. Miriam died there and was buried there. The community was without water, and they joined against Moshe and Aaron. The people quarreled with Moses, saying, "If only we had perished when our brothers perished at the instance of the Eternal. Why have you brought God's congregation into this wilderness for us and our beasts to die there? Why did you make us leave Egypt to bring us to this wretched place? a place with no grain or figs or vines or pomegranates. There's not even water to drink.
Thank you, Carol. I appreciate the emotion that you put into that. No, truly, because the people are clearly very angry, right? They would rather be in Egypt, which, as we know, was not a great place for them. I doubt there were pomegranates available to them as slaves in Egypt. I want to mention this is the first new moon. We began a new month of Tammuz this month, so that's kind of a nice coincidence there. But we have the emotional well-being of the people. I mentioned they're already testy. They're already ready for this to end. But now it's compounded by a huge loss in the community, and that's the loss of Miriam. So on top of everything else, they're also thirsty in this very hot desert, and they are quarreling with Moses and Aaron. They are complaining. They want to, for some reason, make the 40-year journey back. That's how bad they feel. So you're welcome to just reflect on this on your own, or if you want to share, you're welcome to. Is there a time where it has felt like everything is too much? And what do you do in those moments? I'm seeing some expressions that may mean I'm going through one of those times at this very moment. This is a little real for me right now. I get that. Sometimes the Torah portion arrives and you're like, oh my gosh, did you write this for me? Anyone want to share? I know that's a deep question to start things off with. What do you do to maybe center yourself in those moments? Sorry, you're here. Oh, Miriam, I'm so happy to hear that's something that brought you here. That's really beautiful. Thank you. I'm so glad we can be a place for that. I'm seeing some nods. That's really amazing. Anyone else? Okay. It certainly feels for the last couple of months like everything has been too much, for sure. I find for me something that helps is to just put my phone down, connect with the people around me, connect with being, outside, connect with something that is right in front of me that maybe connects me to something that's important. Not that the things going on aren't important, but that there's more than just what I'm seeing on my phone. So the rabbis are very intrigued that Miriam's death, as you can see on verse 2, that the community is without water right after she passes away. We don't hear that the people are grieving or that there's some kind of service. So for the rabbis, nothing is without coincidence in the Torah, absolutely nothing, so in their minds. So they think that these two things are related, that Miriam's passing has something to do with there not being any water for the Israelites. So would anyone like to read? This is from a commentary from our ancient rabbis on Bamidbar, which is Numbers. So we're going to have some fan fiction, as I like to describe it. But it's a good one.
God spoke to Moses in the wilderness of Sinai. Did I not place 3 caretakers for them, the Israelites, Moses, Aaron, and Miriam? Due to the merit of Moses, you would eat the manna. Due to the merit of Aaron, I surrounded you with the clouds of glory. The well was due to the merit of Miriam, who recited the song at the sea. What is written? Miriam died there and was buried there. What is written thereafter? There was no water for the congregation. What was the well made up from? It was a boulder. It was like a beehive, and it would roll and come with them on their journeys.
So maybe you've heard this image or this idea that Miriam in the wilderness had this magical well that followed the people during their 40 years of wandering in the wilderness. Has that sounded familiar to anybody? What I didn't know until I looked this up is that it was apparently a giant beehive boulder that rolled around. That's a really silly image in my opinion. It rolled along with the congregation wherever they were, and then somehow it magically had water that came forth. So to me, that's a pretty amusing image. But this is one of the most prominent ideas of Miriam in rabbinic imagination. And if you've been to one of our temple Passover Seders, or maybe at your Passover Seder, it's a new-ish tradition to have a cup of water on the Seder table, and it's for Miriam in particular in this role, perhaps as a duo with Elijah and the cup of wine. So water, Miriam is symbolized by water, as you can see with the song of the sea as she is dancing with the people, and they sing Mi Chamocha, which we just sang, and then also the well, this well that followed the Israelites. So with the song of the sea, we imagine that the Israelites became a people. They left slavery and became a people. And the well is a popular image that we see throughout ancient times and also in our Torah stories. It appears in several different moments as a gathering place for the community. And it's also important to Moses and Zipporah, his wife, also. That's where they meet. So the rabbis, interestingly enough, we may not be expecting this, but they're holding Miriam in equal esteem with Moses and Aaron. That's pretty neat, right? They are three equal caretakers. So Moses ran the show. Aaron was the chief of the priests, of the Kohanes and the Levites, but Miriam sustained the people, and maybe not just with her water. She led the people in dancing through the Sea of Reeds. She gave them hope, and she grounded them throughout 40 years of wandering. So she was, in a sense, perhaps the spiritual community leader. I would maybe go so far as to say that maybe she was a very, very, very early rabbi. Maybe that's just me projecting. It's entirely possible. But still, she had a really important caretaking role that was unique from Moses and Aaron, but just as important, and now she was gone. And whether it was the actual water or maybe some spiritual nourishment, the people were thirsty, they were dehydrated, they were lacking from their loss. So I have another question for you, which is, what else might be underneath the Israelites complaining to Moses and Aaron? Wait, I didn't hear, I'm sorry. Fear? Do you want to expand on that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're afraid that they've made it this far. They're almost there, and now they're not going to make it. Yeah, especially without water. I feel like that's probably pretty important. Yeah, in the desert, that uncertainty has gone way up. Yeah, thanks, Mary. Anyone else? Yeah. Do you mind if I? Sorry, I forgot to give you the mic.
Their grief is expressed in their irritability.
Yes. So their grief is expressed in their irritability, is what Connie said. Yeah. So maybe this is grief talking, and maybe not just thirst. I'm seeing some yes. Yeah. You said the same thing? Awesome, Ari. In different words. Nice. Yeah. So maybe I'll kind of ask this a different way. What grounds you when you realize that maybe that is something that you're experiencing? Or maybe you're seeing someone come to you with something that maybe has something else underneath it. Okay, maybe we'll just oh yeah.
I've spent a lot of time the past month, 2 months, 3 months since spring doing things like weeding in my yard, and I realize it's like therapeutic for me. And I was thinking of the Jews in the desert. They just kept going, right? So they didn't have a chance to really like make a garden and make roots and watch things grow.
Yeah.
That would be hard.
Totally. Absolutely. Everything was like impermanent, right? So, yeah, I think that's amazing. Absolutely. And yeah, I agree that cathartic kind of process of weeding, maybe we all have sort of things like that, something to kind of get out of our heads a little bit. They probably didn't have anything like that either. Yeah, Betty? Let me come around.
Expanding on that.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay, awesome. Yeah.
Literal roots and the figurative roots.
Yeah. Literal and figurative roots. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they're still figuring out how to be a people. Yeah, Gail. Hang on, I'm going to hop over here.
Well, I know I'm the angriest when I'm tired. They were probably just tired.
Yeah, probably just tired. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they were the thirsty version of hangry. Thank you, Gail. Yes, absolutely. All these things. But I think there's something being lost in translation, or maybe there's some sort of lack of understanding and empathy, and people are not really processing their feelings or communicating super clearly. So would anyone like to read? We're going to now arrive at the conclusion of this scene. We're on the other side of your page here. I did. Oh, yes, that is correct. I did skip verse 6. I don't remember. We'll have to look it up. I guess I decided it wasn't important enough. I'm sure there's maybe some sort of extra dialogue in there or something that I didn't feel was necessary. But that's a great mystery that I created. We'll figure out. So would anyone like to read these? I'm just taking a look at the time so that we get y'all out of here on time. Anyone want to read these final verses? This might be a scene you recall. Barry, thank you.
Adonai spoke to Moses, saying, "You and your brother Aaron take the rod and assemble the community, and before their very eyes order the rock to yield its water. Thus you shall produce water for them from the rock and provide drink for the congregation and their beasts." Moses took the rod from Adonai as he had been commanded. Moses and Aaron assembled the congregation in front of the rock, and he said to them, "Listen, you rebels, shall we get water for you out of this rock?" And Moses raised his hand and struck the rock twice with his rod. Out came copious water, and the community and their beasts drank. But Adonai said to Moses and Aaron, "Because you did not trust me enough to affirm my sanctity in the sight of the Israelite people, therefore you shall not lead this congregation into the land that I have given them."
Yikes. Yes. So why doesn't Moses do what God asked?
Well, Moses is severely punished. Yes, he's not allowed into the land. He can see it from afar, but in the end, he cannot enter this land that God is giving to the rest of the people because he hit the rock. He didn't just speak to it, which is what he was told to do.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. He was given very clear instructions, and it was to speak to a rock. But instead, he hits it. And yes, so why do you think Moses didn't do what he was told? That's pretty clear, right? To speak to a rock, and instead he hits it. And do you think the punishment fits the crime? I'm seeing a no. No. I don't know if I agree with that either, necessarily. And I think it's okay for us to say, hey, maybe this was a little bit harsh of a punishment. Yeah, they've been wandering for 40 years. Yeah, and that's gonna weigh on Moses. He's been leading the people for 40 years and enduring all these complaints and hardships, and he lost his sister. Yeah. So maybe Moses is grieving also, and like the people, he also can't use words well, or he can't, or doesn't have the ability to share or express his grief. Yeah. So it's all coming together.
Curious why the water came out. Why didn't God just say, speak, don't hit?
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, why does the water still come out? That's a great question.
I wonder whether it's something that's kind of going full circle of how can I lead the people because I'm not smooth of tongue. Don't have it.
Right, like maybe Miriam was. Yeah.
And then here he's not speaking well.
Right, he's not speaking well. Yeah, and that could be because he had maybe something with his speech, but also maybe was the grief or, yeah. Oh, yeah, bookends his story. Yeah, that's really interesting. That was what you were gonna say. Debbie
I was wondering how maybe he didn't want to take over the job that was his sister's.
Yeah, so this was Miriam's job with the well. Yeah, so now he's being asked to fill in her shoes. And yeah, with that grief, I can only imagine. That's a great insight. Here, can I pass this all the way down?
When it says order the rock, but doesn't mean orally, could be a different way. And, he ordered it by hitting it. And didn't Moses supposed to have a speech impediment? So... Oh, okay, so yeah, so there's bigger issues there, but he ordered it in a different way.
Clearly not the right way. Right, it is right, sure, maybe he kind of creatively interpreted it in his way, but it wasn't how God wanted it. That's really interesting. I never thought of that. Anyone else? Yeah.
I have a question that I don't know if anybody can answer, but I remember as a child going to a yeshiva singing a song, Umoshe hikabasela, vayetzu mimenu mayim, mayim, and it went on. And it was glorifying it. I mean, it was an upbeat sort of song. And Moses hit the rock, and out of it came water. Yeah. You never heard that song?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody.
That's so interesting. That's so interesting. Yeah. Wow. These are such really fantastic insights. Thank you, everybody. I would love for us to get moving with our Torah service, but I think this story can teach us so many things, and I think so many of you already sort of brought up these ideas of empathy, of grief, of how do we, deal with our feelings, how do we maybe see in someone else what may be underneath, what's being said or what's being expressed. Perhaps that we're all kind of fighting our own invisible battle, which I didn't make up, came from someone else. And we usually are supposed to look up to our ancestors, our biblical ancestors, like that joyful song about him, about Moses hitting the rock. But maybe this is an opportunity to consider maybe no one was completely in the right. And I'm going to even include God in that. There could have been some compassion and some empathy here, but immediately with that punishment was maybe a little harsh. But who am I to pass judgment? But maybe an opportunity for us to think about how we can really see one another and respond with empathy and curiosity and caring. And I want to go back to Miriam, what you said about how this can be a place for that, for us to arrive with whatever that may be, and for us to all be here for one another. Doesn't mean we always have to know what that thing is, but that's what we're here for as a sanctuary, right? As a community. And I also want to end by saying when Aaron dies, the people grieve for, it's either 30 or 40 days. And we have very robust laws for how to hold people who are going through those kinds of things. So we can always learn and always grow through that as well. Okay, let's do it, everybody. We're going to have a really, really, really brief Torah service now. But the learning is the most important. So I would like to invite Connie and Carol to come on back up and join us. You're invited to please rise as we take the Torah from the Ark.
Ein kmocha be'Elohim Adonai, v'hel k'ma'asecha, malachutecha malachu ka'olamim, u'menshatecha b'chador v'hador. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai imlok ve'olam va'ed, Adonai hoz le'amo yitain, Adonai yevarei et amo v'shalom.
Let's all sing Shema together.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Lechad. Shosha Devarim, Shosha Devarim, Shosha Devarim, Olam Olam Shosha Devarim, Shosha Devarim, Shosha Devarim.
may be seated, and if you would like to come on up and see the Torah up close, you are welcome to do so, but it is not a requirement. As I figure out where. Oh, yeah, that'd be great. Anyone want to come up? Okay, whatever you want to do. This is our Holocaust Torah. As many of you know, it's a real privilege to read from this scroll from the Pincus Synagogue, which no longer exists. So when we read from the scroll, we imagine that all of the people from that congregation of blessed memory, we are bringing them into the space with us as well. Oh, we got some more folks coming up, which is incredible. So it's we usually chant from the other ones. Yeah, no, it's an incredible scroll. So we're going to continue with our Aliyah blessings. So you can find those on our screens here. And also if you're around, you're welcome to do an Aliyah. And you all also have the section that I'm reading from on the back page. I'm going to chant verses 9 through 11. But please don't judge me. This scroll is really difficult to read from because it's like 200 years old. But I'm gonna do my best here. But first I'm going to find where it is. Let me just find where we are. Here we go. All right, so is everybody ready? If you'd like to join in the Aliyah blessing, you don't have to be up here, you can join us. 1, 2, 3. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Atah Adonai
Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natar lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. Vayikach Moshe et hameta milifnei Adonai ka'asher tzivahu. Vayakilu Moshe ve'Aharon et hakahal al pnei hasela. Vayomer lahem shimuna hamorim hamin hasela hazeh motzi lachem mayim. Vayaram Moshe et yado vayach et hasela bamatehu pa'amayim vayitzu mayim rabim vatesh ta'eta uviram. All right, blessing after everyone. Put my phone away. All right, go for it.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam natan b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. Yasher koach, everybody. I heard this beautiful chorus behind me and out here. Thank you, everybody. You're all welcome to take a seat. Thank you. All right. While the Torah is in our midst, we're going to take a moment and pray for those who are in need of healing. Absolutely. Yeah, no, that makes sense. This evening, our community is praying for the healing of Asher Ben-Aya Ben-Harav, Gavriela David Ailey, Jonathan Adler, Rabbi Saul Agan, Nancy Ashley, Lori Barr, Sarah Bates, Charlie Bauer, Margie Block, Ron Bragg, Marge Serrani, Ann Clark, Keith Clark, Bruce Cohen, Ella Dubrow, Sam Edelman, Carrie Eschler, Marilyn Friedman, Hannah Golan, Alan Goldberg, Marilyn Goldfein, Yossi Golden, Carolyn Goldmark, Jessica Heffley, Ann Herman, Karen Carlsberger, Beth Jasalowitz, Dan Lang, Minna Melton, Phyllis Miles, David Paragas, Lisa Pena, Jeremy Phelan, Ian Phillips, Rashi Pristowski, Jessica Rathkopf, Willa Rorba, Bill Rosenberg, Steve Rubenstein, Ralph Sauer, Ozzie Zimmer, and Shelley Zimmerman, as well as any names of people in need of healing that you'd like to share. For each of them and for anyone and everyone in need of healing, we'll sing together, Misha Berach.
May the source of strength, who
Mar Hagba for lifting the Torah. We're going to invite Barry. We've already got Hilda and Debbie up here to adjust the Torah, and we're also going to invite the Sokol family to help us close the Torah. And we're going to invite everyone else to, or sorry, not close the Torah, to close the Ark. We're going to invite everyone else, if you're able to, please rise. All right.
Zot HaTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael api Adonai biyad Moshe. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Ya la lai lai la lai, ya la lai lai la lai. La 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 Mahasikim ba v'tom hecha me'ushar derachechar darchei noam v'chol netivotecha shalom hashivenu Adonai elecha nashuva Hadesh, Hadesh Yameinu, Hadesh Yameinu, Kakadam.
Thank you, guys. Everyone, you may be seated. Thank you to everyone who helped participate in our Torah service. We're going to continue, concluding our service with Bayom Hahu. Please join us. You again, if you're able to please rise. As we recall, there are stars up above so far away. We only see their light long after the star itself is gone. And so it is that with people that we love, their memories continue shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. And the stars that light up the darkest nights, these are the lights that guide us. And as we live our days, these are the ways we always remember. For Mourners Kaddish, we are first remembering those lights that were most recently taken from us in the last 30 days. We remember Dr. Bill Lippy and Roy Bryant. We're also standing in mourning for those who were killed in Israel this week, Tal Lahat, Jala Ibrahim, and 2 civilians, Noah and Nir Baranas, killed by a rocket from Lebanon. We're also recalling those whom we lost at this season in years past in our observing yahrzeit. We are remembering Gary Barnett, Louis A. Bernard Jr., Fred Epstein, Martin Friedlander, Morris Glazer, Rachel Goldberg, Louis Heilbrunn, Leah Jacobson, R. Wilbur Jenny, Paul Johnson, Liv Rose Meisterman, Morris Meisterman, Sarah Mosberg Owings, Bruce Partridge, Eva Posner, Sam Rich, Arnaldo Roldan, Mildred Shapira, H. Steve Siegfried, Annette Silverman, and David Sokol. If there are any other names of people whom you're remembering, you're welcome to share them at this time. For each of them and for all those who have no one left to say Kaddish for them, we'll recite together. Page 294. Yit Gadal ve'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach cherutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kari v'imru amen. Yehi Shemei Rabbah mivarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yit barach v'yishtabach v'yit pa'ar v'yit romam v'yit naseh. V'yit hadar v'yit aleh v'yit halal shemei dekudesha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechamata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. May the one who creates peace in the high heavens bring peace to us, to Israel, and to all the world. And let us say together, amen. You may be seated. I'm happy to invite up Bobby for some announcements.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. A couple of quick announcements. Join us in the outdoor sanctuary tomorrow at 10 a.m. for Shabbat by the Stream with Rabbi Benji. Babies and Bagels is on Sunday, July 14th at 11 a.m. here at the Temple. This program is for families with toddlers age 2 and under, but older siblings are welcome to join as well. And that's it. As always, visit ShowCloud, give us a call, check your latest weekly window for all of this and more. With that, Shabbat Shalom, and may thank you for making TBS your Jewish home. Rabbi.
Thank you. We are going to continue with Kiddush and Motzi, and I'm happy to invite up Joel for that happy job that I don't have to do. Thank you. Appreciate it. But it's a new Manischewitz, like I said, so it's going to be good.
Melech haolam, borei peri hagafen, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom tehillah, למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת, מכל העמים, בשבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון, הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, Mikadesh HaShabbat. Amen.
Thank you very much. You're welcome to stay up here for Motzi. I feel like you deserve first dibs. Motzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Go for it. Or do you want to take it back? Perfect. We are going to pray once again for peace because we really, really need it. So please join us in Salam.
Odivo Shalom Aleinu, Odivo Shalom Aleinu,
Oyevo Shalom Aleinu Ve'am Kulam. Oyevo Shalom Aleinu. Oyevo Shalom Aleinu. Oyevo Shalom Aleinu Ve'am Kulam. Salam Aleinu Ve'apo Ha'olam. Salam, salam, salam Aleinu Ve'apo Ha'olam. Salam, salam. Oyevo Shalom Aleinu. Oyevo Shalom Aleinu. Oyevo Shalom Aleinu Ve'am Kulam. Oyevo Shalom Aleinu. Oyevo Shalom Aleinu. Oyevo Shalom Aleinu Ve'am Kulam.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.